to kind of bring things full circle, I'd like to know what the return journey was like for you coming back from Ecuador and Peru and returning back to a first world nation where we have all of the privileges that we could potentially ask for, and more than that even.
Yeah. It was definitely, like I mentioned before, eye-opening. I was a 21-year-old female who thought that I would be a doctor in 3 years and I'd be going to medical school and I'd be helping local populations. And I kind of had a skewed view of how equal the world was. Up until my trips, I thought that, oh yeah, everyone could get into a doctor if they need to, or everyone has access to clean drinking water or 3 meals a day. And I think that was just me being naive, and it wasn't intentional. It was just I'd never seen anything like that. And I've lived a very privileged life and never really struggled with food insecurity or inaccessibility to healthcare or infrastructure. And coming back to Canada, I remember sitting in the living room with my parents and just crying. I'm a very emotional person, but I was just beside myself at the inequity that exists in our world, and the fact that people are living in horrible conditions and there's nothing that I can do about it is how it felt. It felt like I'm one single individual and there are billions of people in this world. There are billions of people living in poverty who are starving, who don't have access to basic needs, shelter, food, healthcare, whatever it is. There are kids not going to school. Meanwhile, I'm going on to my third post-secondary degree. I have a roof over my head. I bought an iced coffee this morning without thinking about it. And I just live a very different life than the lives I've seen. And I remember my mom saying, but you've taken the first step and you're educating yourself on what's going on in the world and you're doing what you can. You are one person. You can't change the world. But if you can influence 4 people to have a positive impact, to get involved with MedLife, to get involved with something you care about, something that has that positive effect on other communities, that's 4 times the impact you would have on your own. And so that kind of really set the tone for how I proceeded with MedLife and with other organizations and other volunteering positions that I'm involved with, kind of keeping in mind that, yes, I'm one person and I can do as much as I can, but it's only going to help if I can get other people involved and if they can have an impact as well. And from that point, that's kind of how I approach volunteering positions or things that I'm passionate about. Is as great as I am and as motivated as I am to have these positive changes, wouldn't it be great if I could convince 10 other people to get involved and have 10 times the impact or have 20 times the impact or as much of an impact as possible, and just have those conversations and educate people. And that's kind of what fueled my desire to continue with MedLife, was that it was great to go on one trip and see the inequity that exists and see the inequality within communities, but understanding that I can have more of a lasting impact by getting more people involved. So that's kind of how I see it now and how I try to continue to see it, as challenging as it is sometimes to be a little removed from those communities and not see it. I try and remember how I was feeling in the moment and kind of bring myself back to that when I'm feeling down or I'm feeling like I need to complain about things in my life. Oh, I don't have any flavored water today. My life is so hard. Or, oh, the pizza store was out of Hawaiian pizza. My life is really challenging. And then I think about kind of past impacts, and it kind of just refocuses my opinion and my understanding of my life and how so many other things matter outside of just my sphere of the world, and try and take that lens into a lot of different components of my life and continue with my involvement with organizations that have positive impacts and that I'm passionate about.